What is going on, tribe, and welcome back to another Galaxy of Heroes video with me, your sick, bald-headed boy, Scribble. I've got my phone going off at every opportunity. I do apologize about that, but I also have a sore throat. Why is life so cruel to me? Let me shut that phone up right about now. So, let's get galactically challenged. Today we find ourselves on Lothal, facing off against the rebels, Mon Mothma, and a team of rebels that generates turn meter at unprecedented rates. Is a little bit frustrating. The global modifier is rebellious as all get out. Whenever an ally uses a special ability during their turn, a random other ally will assist. Whenever a character attacks out of turn, they're going to gain a stack of rebellious, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented, and at 20 stacks they gain an additional 30% offense. This is a modifier for one of the planets in Lightside TV. Can't remember which one it is. I think it's actually Lothal. I mean, that would make sense, right? But yeah, we get to redo it here. Lots of assists equals lots of goodness, and they assist all the time, so it's what it is. We've got benefits for the Imperial troopers, and of course they are the antithesis to the rebels. We basically have stuff and things that do lots of good stuff. The enemy has got a couple of surprises left. They're going to gain additional 50% health steal, and they cannot be countered. They also will not receive any sort of debuff apart from tenacity down, because they're just going to refuse. They'll just resist it. Tenacity down, they don't care, because they've got 1,000 billion trillion% tenacity. Feats then, what do we need? We need to win with a full team of Imperial troopers. We need to win after gaining stealth 10 times, and we need to win after evading 10 attacks. Now, this is pretty easy for the most part, but let's roll some of the footage, starting off with some Imperial trooper goodness. So I'm going in with a pretty typical Imperial trooper lead here. Veer's in the lead with Piet, Dark, Range, and Scout. Scout is not necessary. All you really need is a Veer's lead with Piet and Dark. Range is very useful for the extra assists. You just go ahead and throw that mark onto your Dark trooper with your Piet, and then you just start going ham. You will turn me to train the enemy before they can really get going, provided your Dark Trooper's got a decent amount of offense. Now, you want to do the Stomp with Range Trooper. That's going to pass some additional buffs, give you that bonus protection up, and then just systematically take out the enemy team one at a time. You could theoretically try to drag this team out a little bit longer to try and get the stealths from Piet and Scout Trooper, but realistically, we've got much better options for that with some other teams. So, if you want to bang your head against the wall, go ahead and just try and drag this out a little bit. You might want to start thinking about killing one or two enemies without generating too much turn meter. It becomes a tricky balance, but in the end I recommend just going in and more or less ruffle stomping your face all over them and getting half the feats done, so we can move swiftly on to the next team. We're going for stealths and evasions here. Darth Maul, under Darth Maul's leadership with his Zeta, means all Sith allies start with stealth and gain additional evasion. If you have Bane, just go in with a duo of Darth Maul and Bane, and then hit auto and give it about 10 minutes, okay? Like, you'll eventually win, provided you've modded your Malgus Maul, Bane. Bane, he's the Sith Lord we're talking about today, provided he's modded for a lot of good health and a decent bit of damage. I think mine has about 140k health and about 10k-ish damage at Relic 7 or 8, I can't remember now, and a decent amount of speed. You will eventually chew through. Eventually what's going to happen is Bane over here is going to build up so much siphon that he's going to be sapping away all the enemy's max health, and then his AoE attacks are going to systematically destroy the enemy. If he defeats an enemy on a basic, they're also not going to revive, so that kind of removes Mon Mothma's ability. Now I'm going to skip ahead to the end, because realistically this takes a long time, and I don't want you here to sit here twiddling your thumbs thinking, come on Scribble, what's going to happen, boy? Basically we win. Look, so you can see after 4 minutes of putting this battle on auto, we are eventually getting down to just Kyle Katarn and the Scout Trooper and Mon Mothma. It's not Scout Trooper, it's the summoned unit. Eventually we managed to whip them out, and that's about it. Got up to about 88 stacks of Siphon before that eventually happens. Can be done, but of course if you don't have Bane, there are other options using the same leadership. Gets you the stealths, gets you the evasions. I take that same exact approach and I throw in the Darth Revan team and Wat Tambor. I use Wat Tambor to place the weapons tech on Malak, and this is because anybody that Malak subsequently kills will remain permanently dead. The rest of it is the exact same principle. We've got increased evasion and we've got auto stealths when we get crit or whenever we evade attack. Just go ahead and put the other techs on other people. It doesn't really matter, and eventually Malak over here should be able to life drain the units out one at a time, defeating them, and they will not be able to revive. So Mon Mothma eventually times out. Now, you will find it will come down to just Malak eventually, and that's because he's the only one that can really survive the onslaught of damage from the enemy team, and that's quite alright. You'll need to have him modded for lots and lots of protection and health. Obviously, mine's got a decent amount of speed, but thanks to that weapons tech, he should be gaining some turn meter as well whenever an enemy takes turn. I do recommend trying to take out Cara Dune first, just because she will revive otherwise, and her attack animation just takes about 13,000 years to run through. So again, I'm just going to skip to the end here. As you can see, we're gaining stealths automatically as the enemy is critting us, and we're also evading a good chunk of these attacks, so it's a relatively reliable way about getting both stealth and evasions. You can see here, after about 4 minutes time, that seems to be the sweet spot. It's just Malak left against the Hoth Rebel Scout, a couple of life drains later, and you do eventually defeat them. Thanks to that weapons tech, they cannot actually revive, which is just absolutely phenomenal. Really ruins Mon Mothma's day. And there we have it. Another way of getting stealths and evasions. Now, if you just want to focus on stealths, you can go in with a JTR team here. I'm just throwing in a bunch of droids, BB-8, R2-D2, C-3PO, and Chewpio. Chewpio doesn't really matter in the end. The real core of this is Rey lead with BB-8, C-3PO, and R2-D2. Both C-3PO and R2-D2 have forms of stealth. Always put that stealth on BB-8, and you'll notice that the enemy doesn't even get to take a turn here. We actually burn straight through them. Just wiggle when you can, get that triple stacks of translation up on R2-D2 so that we can start reducing his cooldowns with basics from C-3PO, and that means we'll get more instances of his smokescreen ability, which puts 4 allies in stealth. You need to do that twice. We've already done it twice. C-3PO, when he uses his second special, he also gains stealth on himself, so it's another way of getting it done. We're using our big old thing here, and we get quite lucky here. We get a third stealth off simply because whenever we're using special abilities, we're calling an ally to assist. If we're calling C-3PO to assist, he's also going to be reducing cooldowns on all his allies that have got 3 stacks of translation. Easy way of getting this team done, and this feat, and that feat. Got it? Great. If you're looking for evasions, you can also do that with a Rey lead. I know this is a Galactic Legend Rey lead, but essentially throwing in 3 characters, or 4 characters in fact, that have got evasion mastery as their mastery. I'm using Shakti, JTR, and Cal Kestis here, can be a really easy way of getting a boatload of dodges. So I'm just using Bagbro Finn here to pass turns back to Rey so that she can spread inspiration to the team more quickly, as more instances of inspiration means more characters gaining mastery. Everybody that's gaining mastery when the enemy gains turn meter means that we are going to enhance our mastery, and like I said, JTR, Cal Kestis, and Shakti are all evasion mastery. So enemy gains turn meter whilst we're inspired, we're increasing our mastery, which is increasing our evasion chance, and what you'll notice eventually is that you just dodge every single attack, apart from with GL Rey and obviously Bagbro Finn. He's only in there at the start, like I say, as a source of passing additional inspiration throughout the team, makes it that little bit easier to get done. The rest of it, you can see all the dodges we're getting here already. The rest of it is just there to make sure that we can keep people alive, keep the damage ramping with Rey, because Rey is, of course, Galactic Legend Rey is, of course, gaining different types of mastery. Hers is based on crit chance, crit damage, and damage, so the longer she survives with inspiration and the more turn meter the enemy gains when she's alive means she's going to be ramping a rather ridiculous amount of damage. Her whirlwind, of course, does also prevent revives, so when you're ready to go down that route and you're comfortable that you've got all your dodges, you can just start opening the can of whoop ass, basically. You can see after about 4 minutes, they can't actually hit Cal Kestis and they can't actually hit JTR. They'll dodge every single attack 100% of the time. And I've just put it on full auto now because I'm very confident that we've had at least 10 dodges at this point, go into a nice big ultimate at the end, and I'm pretty sure that's going to spell the end of this Rebel Alliance. Come on now, Rey, do your big thing, honey. Even Rey got a dodge there, that's embarrassing. And here comes the yeet. Wait for it, wait for it. Kablamo. 420,000 per character. It's not too shabby. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to about do it for today's episode of Galactically Challenged with Sick Boy Scribble. Make sure you do hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you all in the very next video. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.